Hello everyone, welcome back. We've got a couple more trades to discuss. The Red Wings have made 2 deals. What could they be up to? And what are the trades involving the Sharks and the Predators? With all that coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the NHL channel. Before we get into this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank all of your support. We're never able to with all of you guys, so if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below so we can all discuss in today's video. Now in this video, we've got a couple of trades to discuss. The Detroit Red Wings earlier today have made 2 trades, and there's some significant ones in here too. So we'll get to these 2 moves. So first up, we saw the Detroit Red Wings make a trade with the Nashville Predators. The trade is as follows. The Detroit Red Wings acquire Kisskinen, his signing rights, and a 2024 second round pick, which is originally Tampa Bay Lightning, so 53rd overall, from the Nashville Predators in exchange for Andrew Gibson. Now, both of those prospects involved in the deal were picks of last year's draft. We'll start with the Nashville Predators. It's a pretty good pickup there in getting Andrew Gibson. Gibson's a right shot defenseman, was the 42nd overall pick in the 2023 draft. Already assigned a 3-year ELC. That'll hopefully begin at the start of next year or maybe later. Gibson, the past couple of years, been playing over the OHL. In his draft year, put up 7 goals and 21 points in 45 OHL games. This past year, blew that point total out of the water, putting up 12 goals and 44 points in 68 games. Looked fantastic. I think eventually could be a solid second, third pair defenseman. So that's a pretty good move there for the Predators to get someone who's already established and actually is coming off a pretty good season in the OHL. So I think that's a pretty good move there for the Predators to move a couple of pieces to get a young player who should eventually be a solid top for right shot defenseman like Andrew Gibson. Meanwhile, for the Red Wings, they get 2 pieces here. First, they get Jesse Kisskinen. Kisskinen, who was the 68th overall pick in the 2023 draft, as a right winger. Hasn't signed his ELC yet, but hopefully the Red Wings are able to eventually do that. Kisskinen in his draft year was playing over in Liga, put up an assist in 7 games. This past year actually had a really good season, putting up 4 goals and 10 points in 38 Liga games. I think eventually, probably still going to need a year or 2 to develop, but I think eventually he could be a solid third, maybe even second line winger there for the Detroit Red Wings. So it's a solid acquisition there for Detroit, and I think Kisskinen should definitely be able to help that Red Wings team. And they also get the 53rd overall pick in this year's draft. So the former 3rd round pick plus a 2nd round pick in this year's draft for a former 2nd round pick. So this is a pretty decent move for both sides. I'd say at this point in time, the Red Wings do win this deal because they not only get a solid prospect, but they get the 2nd round pick for this year in return as well. But Gibson's a fantastic defender, and the Preds are going to be happy to have him in their system. So this is a pretty good move for both sides. And then Red Wings took Tampa's 53rd overall pick and flipped it. Detroit winds up moving the 53rd overall pick as well as Jake Walman to the San Jose Sharks for future consideration. So it's a confusing move from the Red Wings side of things. Walman's actually been a pretty good player there for Detroit. At times has been a really good partner for Moritz Seider. So to move him plus a 2nd round pick to just get future considerations is a little bit baffling and makes us think that there might be something else Detroit's working on right now. For the Sharks, they do this deal all day. There's a complete win for the Sharks. First, they're able to get a 2024 2nd round pick, 53rd overall. This is a rebuilding team. They need draft picks. So to get a good solid 2nd round pick that's in the middle to lower end of the draft, like that Tampa pick is, I think that's a perfect pickup there for the Sharks to get that 2nd round pick, and it's going to increase their draft capital. On top of that, they also get Jake Walman. Walman is a solid player, has put up some pretty good point totals over the past couple of years. He still has 2 years left this year, next year, a $3.4 million cap hit, so that's a pretty good solid move there for the Sharks to get Walman. Walman last year in his season had 9 goals, 18 points, and 63 games. This past season with the Detroit Red Wings, had 12 goals and 21 points in 63 games. It wasn't overly fantastic, not as good as he was the year prior, even though he had more goals, and he definitely did fall down the depth chart a little bit in Detroit. So I can see why Detroit might have wanted to get rid of him, but they still also have Justin Holl and Brent Sherratt, who I think also have 2 or 3 years left on their deal, and they're a lot worse contracts than Walman's is. So it's a little bit confusing from the Detroit side. From the Sharks side, they get a solid top 4 defenseman in Walman, and they get a 2nd round pick in this upcoming draft for nothing. So this is a beautiful pick up there for the Sharks, and a little bit of a baffling move there from Detroit. So basically, these 2 trades, Preds move Kisskinen and a 2nd round pick to the Red Wings in exchange for Andrew Gibson. The Red Wings flip that 2nd round pick and move him with Walman to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for future consideration. So interesting moves there. For the Predators, probably going to continue to add some more pieces. Gibson's a young player, but he's still a year or 2 away from getting into NHL, so I expect them to continue to be busy. I expect the Sharks to continue to be busy and add some more players who are on bad contracts. Walman makes $3.4 million, so the Sharks have the space to add him, so that's a pretty good pickup there for the Sharks. For the Red Wings, they're able to get Kisskinen for moving on from Gibson, a second-round pick, and Walman, which is a little bit baffling. But a lot of people do think that they need to clear that $3.4 million cap off the books in order to go after someone in either free agency or the trade market. I've heard some people say they could go after Gibson. I've heard some people say they could go after Natchez. If they make it to free agency, Gensel and Stamkos might be high on the radar, so we'll have to wait and see exactly who they go after. But there's definitely some interesting reports out of Detroit that they may be trying to go after some pretty good players, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But those are updates from earlier today. Red Wings make a couple of trades, and the Sharks get a little bit better on the blue line, as do the Predators, and the Red Wings get a solid right wing prospect. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on who you think wins these two deals down in the comment section below. I think the Sharks win the second deal and the Wings win the first deal, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comment section below. So I'm going to talk for today. Remember to like this video. If you'd like to, remember to subscribe down below. Thank you all for your support when you're able to help you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below discussing all discussed in today's video. I also do a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that, so check that out. Leave a link down in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all for next video. See you guys soon.